Alright, now that you're all here, we can finally go through the best of the best. Only one of you is the best. We will start from the bottom of the list and work our way towards the top. Once I call your name, please leave the stage and head back to the main base where you all freaking belong. Welcome back to a new list for the new year. I did one of these videos about a year ago and so much has changed since then. I felt like this needed to be done, so here we are. Welcome to my list of the 5 best attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, before I begin, I would like to address the following. Firstly, this list is my opinion, so you may not agree with this list, and that's okay. You can give me your 5 best attackers in the comments once this video is finished, so I can check out and maybe feature in a future podcast. Secondly, this is how I'll be going through each operator. I'll be going through the weapons first, then about the operator's main gadget, with me ending why I put that operator on the list. Lastly, please enjoy and subscribe for more cool stuff, and please follow my Twitch. I'm no affiliate. Let's start with number 5 in our spot, IQ.
Oh, that's just a shame.
The newest addition to the 5 best attackers goes to IQ. I didn't play her a lot for the fact that I was never really interested in playing her. Once I started playing as IQ, I cannot deny how important she is to the team. Let's start with her weapons. She has access to the 5.52 Commando, the AUG A2, and lastly, the G8A1 LMG, with her only sidearm being the P12 pistol. The AUG isn't a bad gun to use, honestly. However, I know the issue that it has that it blocks a lot of field of view with how big the weapon is. It's got some good damage and a decent rate of fire. The 5.52 Commando is probably the weapon of choice for me. The rate of fire is quite low for sure, but the damage makes up for it. Also, it blocks a lot less of the field of view than the AUG. It's also a very flexible weapon, with it being good at long range or even short range. It's one of the areas I mainly run a hollow on because I feel like it works with her role being as a support or a fragger. Lastly, the G8 LMG is a very fun weapon to use. High rate of fire and a large mag size makes it a good choice. With the addition of an angle grip, it makes it an aggressor's dream come true. The P12 pistol is honestly one of the best pistols in the game. Decent mag size and a decent damage with very little recoil to manage. Now, her main gadget. Her electronic detector is such an amazing gadget to have on attack. Her gadget alone can counter 18 defenders. She can mainly be used to find those sneaky val cams outside, find that pulse below your teammates, or general scouting for different defender gadgets around the map. IQ's importance is what fits her in the number 5 spot in my 5 best attackers. Also, her flexibility on what her role she can play makes her one of the best. Get some planting. No, don't. Positive. No. I was gonna say I am right underneath you. I was gonna say I am right underneath you. Oh, okay. That's smart actually. I thought you were gonna kill me. I was like, no.
I'm not that dick.
No. No, that's smart. That's good play. In the number 4 spot, Ash.
Man, just pay me up and I'm happy.
Ash went from number 2 and dropped to the number 4 spot in my list. She's still a very important operator. Her fragging ability is top tier and utility is not bad either. She has access to 2 main weapons, the R4C, the G36C, and her 2 secondary weapons, the 5.7 USG and the M45. Let's start with her R4C. This weapon is probably one of the best attacking weapons in the game. A solid rate of fire, great damage, and great recoil control. Very easy to handle. Just because they removed the option to equip an ACOG, it pretty much didn't do anything to nerf her at all. If anything, they made her into an aggressor role that she's mainly known for. The G36C, however, is another great alternative you may go for. It's seriously overshadowed by the R4C. If you really want an ACOG and do not mind giving up a little bit lower rate of fire, this is the gun for you. Both of her secondary pistols are great choices. It really depends on if you would rather have more bullets or more damage. Her main gadget, the breached launcher, is one of the great gadgets, honestly. It can help with opening soft surfaces to sites or even trying to get rid of some defending gadgets that line the way of your attack. The reason why she's not higher up in the list anymore is because while playing this game more and more, I realized that she's not as essential to win the game. Sure, she's one of the best fraggers in the game, but there are other operators that you can replace her easily and that will not really affect your chance of winning the attack. Overall, I can agree that she deserves a spot in the top 5. However, there are 3 more attackers I do believe firmly that are better and more important than she is. I don't know who I got. I kept missing the fucking camera, but for some reason I decided to like magnet his head. Coming in to the number 3 spot, Thermite.
Well, great. Me and my big fucking holes will be appreciated somewhere else.
If there's a top 5 best attackers list with no Thermite, then whoever came up with that list is such an idiot. Oh, wait. Anyways, Thermite to me is such a game changer when he is used right. He can influence the round to the attacker's favor with his gadget. Let's however begin with his weapons firstly. I'm not going to talk about his shotgun because to me, unless you're Sledge or Finka with the better shotguns, that shotgun's not good at all. Especially when you compare it to how much better and broken it was years ago. Don't remind me when you can quick switch with Pulse. It was a painful time. His 5.56 XI is honestly a decent weapon. Sure, it does not have the rate of fire like the F2 or the R4C, but why would you need that on a support operator whose job is to mainly stay back trying to pick defenders off with longer shots? His assault rifles does make up with having one of the higher damaging ARs in attack. Pretty much the same story with his secondary guns like Ash. It's your choice if you'd rather have higher damage with less bullets or lower damage with more bullets. Now, his exothermic charge is probably one of the most important gadgets on attack. The amount of influence that it has to the attack is so high. Let's have the amazing Kickstar explain why Thermite is not only very important to the attack, but also such a unique character in Rainbow Six.
Round influence, right? Wall is now open. A wall that the enemy absolutely did not want to be opened, obviously. But it wasn't directly, it wasn't just like, here you go, influence. Bam, just like that, influence. No, you had to spawn, walk to that wall, put the thermite charge on that wall, avoid bandit tricking and mute jammers the whole fucking time, avoid getting killed the whole fucking time, walk away from that wall, detonate your thermite charge, and the wall is now open. Congratulations, you have influenced the round. There was a process. There was steps to get to the end result.
After that, I really don't have much more to say about how important he is and how much he can influence the round just by executing what his main role is to breach the site.
Quedan 15 segundos. Último miembro de los enemigos.
Ooh, Val, let's go. Let's go. That was fucking clean.
Thank you, thank you. That was lucky actually.
Fragmite.
Fragmite.
I mean, that's Fragmite, isn't it?
True dat.
That's fucking nice, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Coming in at the number 2 spot, Buck.
I guess this is biased against Canadians.
I promise you, this is not because he is my favorite attacker or that he is Canadian. It's honestly because Buck has almost everything going for him. Starting with his guns. His pistol's very good. All around a good secondary weapon to have. His Camera's marksman rifle is not really my favorite DMR. It used to be a lot better when it had a faster fire rate, but since they lowered it, it really isn't a good choice I'd go for personally. Now, his C8 is one of my favorite guns to use in this game. It has such a high rate of fire. His recoil is definitely one of the hardest ones to use, but with a lot of practice, it's pretty much easy mode. Buck has one of the best attacking guns in the game, in my opinion. Whether you use an ACOG or a 1X on it, depending if it's a reflex or holographic, it's fantastic to use. Now for his main gadget, the skeleton key. The underbarrel shotgun is one of the most useful gadgets to have in attack. Not only is it good for a solo Buck player, but it can be extremely useful for the whole team. Blasting the floor open from either below or above can make the defender's life a living hell being in sight. Also, opening up new angles to see the enemy is always useful. What makes Buck so good is that he is also fun to play. There are a lot of operators that are so important to win on the attack that aren't always fun to play, but Buck makes playing on attack a whole lot more fun. He is versatile, useful, and he is very fun to use. And no one complains about having a Buck pick on the attack. A good Buck player can really make the defender's life a lot harder trying to defend a site.
Localizar.
I got a flank drone on you. You can go for plan if you feel comfortable.
Okay, I downed her.
Good kill.
El SEDAS funciona. A toda costa.
On plane.
Defensores neutralizados. Vencen los atacantes.
Thanks. And finally, taking the number 1 spot, Thatcher.
Yeah! Fucking laser sight!
This may seem weird. However, hopefully after I explain why I put him to the top, you will see and understand my choice to place Thatcher as the best attacker in Rainbow Six. So, his guns. I'm not going to talk about its M590 because even though it's a great weapon, shotguns on attack ain't really the play, my guy. Especially on a support, who mainly stays away from the fight and shoots long range. However, his other 2 guns are a very interesting thing to talk about, and I'll explain after. The L85 is one of my favorite guns in the game. It is literally a beginner's dream gun to start with. Great recoil, great damage, and a pretty decent rate of fire to go with it. It is overall such an amazing gun to use, and I highly recommend it to all who are new to the game to practice with. Now, his AR-33 is another great choice that only Thatcher has access to. Great damage, pretty good recoil, and great rate of fire. The only issue is only really the mag size, but even then, I don't really see it as a major issue if I'm honest. It is more for those aggressive Thatcher players who want to frag more, but the L85 isn't a bad choice for that role either. His guns are great, but it is his main gadget that made his place on the top. His EMP grenade is probably one of the best attacking gadgets you can get, because even when you're not helping Thermite breach a reinforced wall, he can counter so many other defenders, lesion traps, pulse scanners, cameras, C4, Clash, by the way, screw her, Elemines, the list goes on and on. Pretty much when there's a new season, he is in the talks as a counter to pretty much every new defender that comes out. His gadget can really make attacking a lot less of a pain. Overall, with great guns and probably the best attacking gadget, there's no reason to put him as number 1 in my 5 best attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. Reaper?
Clear the correct corner.
I wish you saw that.
There's a shotgun. Easy, bro. Slammed.
There you have it, my newly updated of my 5 best attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. I know there are some attackers that you believe that should be on the list, but however did not make it, unfortunately. Here's who I had in mind that could have made the list, but unfortunately didn't. Jackal. He is good. Great guns and great utility with that shotgun secondary. However, I just find that his main role is to only hunt down roamers. Also, he is frequently banned, so it is really hard to play him. And lastly, even though his gadget is really good, it is just too easy to use. Not in a unique way, honestly. Plus, his nerfs do hurt him a lot. Hibana. Hibana is a great operator for sure. Great primary with a great gadget. I just find that Thermite's hard breaching potential is better and far more important than Hibana's. She is still important to have, but I find that Thermite's gadget has a larger impact to the round than Hibana. Zofia. She has seen some nerfs to her since the last time I put her on the list. 2 Gerst mods instead of 4 is quite a difference. Also, she is pretty much an Ashe with more utility though, which is good for her. But her guns aren't as good. You can replace one of my 5 attackers that I put on my list with Zofia, but I find that the 5 I picked have a larger impact to the round. Twitch. If this was last year around this time, she would have made it into the list. However, she has seen a nerf to what makes her great. Her F2. That gun is not as good as it used to be, but with less rounds in the mag and more recoil to control, it is definitely a lot harder to play her compared to last time. Also, her drone to me is a lot harder to use against bandits, batteries, and mute jammers. Thatcher's just a better alternative for sure. Sledge. He is fun and useful like Buck. He also has a better secondary. I do find that Buck's skeleton key is faster and safer to use to make vertical destruction than Sledge. Also, I like Buck's primary better than Sledge's L85. Sledge is overall great to have, but not worthy of a spot in the top 5. Maverick. In my last list, I put him at the number 1 spot for my 5 best attackers. Now though, I realize that even though he's a strong operator, he's not as good as I thought he was. Even though I don't mind his M4, it is a bit sluggish and its slow reload and interesting recoil makes it not really my favorite gun to use. Also, his blowtorch is so loud now. You can hear it from like across the map. So he's still strong, but I think I liked him a little too much back then. Finally, I have uploaded. My upload schedule has been weak recently, but that's because I've been crazy busy with work stuff. And also, ever since I became affiliate on Twitch, I feel like I've been giving streaming a bit more love recently. So I do apologize for that. However, that's the way it goes. In April and May, I'll be gone, so don't expect any videos around that time. I just wanted to clear that part out. Now, that is my list for my 5 best attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment below and let me know who your 5 best attackers are. Like I said, I'll be starting a podcast, so I'll be going through this video's comments and talking about what all of you guys think. It would be very interesting to see what other people's 5 best attackers are. Anyways, thank you again for tuning in. Come by to my Twitch and see some live gameplay, and also follow my Twitter for some updates on my life. Thanks again. Take care. Have a good one.
Get BJ champion. I'm gonna suck the soul right out of you.
5 seconds to count.
Sounds like Pojo.
Oh, nice.
All locations are secure.
Do it to me.
Hey. Sorry about my teammate, bro. Walk that
bro. Walk that way.